Hello, I'm Senator Noah Wenger. I represent parts of Lancaster County and parts of Chester County in the Pennsylvania Senate. I am a member of the Agriculture Committee, I'm a member of the Chesapeake Bay Committee, and I have been chairing the Senate Appropriations Committee in the last year. It's made me very much aware of some of the environmental concerns that we have when we look at trying to improve water quality, not only the water we have in our own wells and in our own local water systems in our municipalities, and the water in our rivers that we use for recreational purposes and all kinds of uses, in fact. Made me very aware of the concerns that we have with too many nutrients going into our water, and that water, of course, going on into the Chesapeake Bay and degrading the quality of the bay to a greater extent than we like. We've looked at making improvements, and we've made some real strides. In my district, agriculture, many of our farms are using best management practices. There are cost share programs that help farmers put those practices onto their land, which benefits them from the standpoint of running a more efficient operation, but it also improves water quality and the general environment in their communities. But in spite of those efforts, and also other efforts that are made by our municipalities in trying to improve their wastewater treatment plants and runoff and things from development and so on, we still find that we are falling short of the goals that we have set for improving the quality of our water that, first of all, we have, and then goes on into the bay and causes that greater concern there. It occurred to me that we needed to look at some new sources of involvement and funding. And first of all, the public has to be aware of the problem, and I think that when people understand the problem, they respond to that problem. That's the way that we do things here in Pennsylvania. And I think the agriculture community especially has had to do that, has had to be innovative over the years, and certainly we're not going to give up on that now. And so the REAP program suggests that we could do a tax credit where if farmers will install pre-approved practices that have been demonstrated to improve the environment and the water quality, if they will do that on their farms, and many times there's costs involved in that, if they will do that, that they can get certain tax credits for doing that. Now, they would never get a tax credit for a total amount of what they invested in the program, but they could get anywhere from 25 to 75% of their expenditure for doing a practice that benefits the general public. They could get that as a tax credit. In addition to doing that, it also says that those tax credits would be tradable. In other words, persons that were not farming but were interested in improving the environment could purchase those tax credits. And they could get a part of their investment in environmental improvement returned to them in tax credits. So it's an opportunity, I believe, to bring additional private funding into the system. And you can say, well, the tax credits would cost revenue to the Commonwealth. Well, that's only true if we're thinking that we're not going to do anything about the problem. If you do nothing, you don't have to spend anything. But that's not acceptable in today's society and economy. We have to make these improvements. And here's an opportunity for the public and the private sector to share that cost. It won't all be borne by government and the taxpayer. It will be borne by the individual farm families. It will be borne by those people that invest in the tax credits, and in the long run should bring improvement to the tributaries that flow on into our rivers, into our creeks and rivers, and eventually to the Susquehanna River, and then on to the bay. It appears to me that it should be a win-win kind of a situation. It does have broad support from many persons and from organizations such as the Chesapeake Bay Foundation and other organizations that have studied the issue very carefully. So I'm optimistic that passage of this plan into law here in Pennsylvania would benefit everybody in our great state. Thank you, and best wishes.